It's October 9, 2021, and I am working on my wooden powerboat today, although I'm not in the boat shed. I'm at home, and what I'm doing today is working on the new wood to go onto the boat. The first thing I did today was to take the planking stock and plane it to thickness. The reason for that is the planking stock on the boat is 7/8 inch. It's Douglas fir, which is what this is, and you can't buy 7/8 inch thick Douglas fir, so I buy 1 inch thick and run it through my surface plane to get it down to 7/8. And what I'm going to do now is cut the scarfs into the ends of the planks. I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's a line that I've drawn. That's the line I'm going to cut this scarf to. There's also a line here where the scarf is going to go to, up here. And that's what I'm geared up to do right now. I have 3 planks that I'm working on right now. One of them needed to be wider than the available stock in the area, so I edge glued a strip of fir to it, and it is basically waiting for the epoxy to cure before I can do anything more to it. It is planed to thickness, but I still have to mark it up for the scarves and then cut the scarves on it. So that's what I'm going to do today, cut scarves in 2 of the planks. So that's 4 scarves I'm going to cut, 1 in each end of each plank. This is my setup for cutting scarves. I've got the plank I'm going to work on. I've got the scarf marked out on the end of it here. I have an electric plane. I'm going to set it to 1/16 of an inch, and I'm just going to start basically removing wood until I get down close to the line. And when I get close to the line, I'll reduce the cut to a 32nd and then finally to a 64th, and we'll get a pretty nice scarf that way. And I'll clean the final scarf up with sandpaper. So let's get going. Okay, I'm going to make that up to 3/32 of an inch to make this cut go a little faster. I've got a long way to go yet. Okay, I'm just going to tighten up my clamps and keep going. So far, I've put 200 cuts in, and I'm cutting a little too fast up here at the top of the scarf and not fast enough down here. So I'm going to change my cut and start cutting a little more down toward the end. Okay, how are we looking on this side? Yeah, this side could use a few more cuts. It's not as far along as that side. Okay, how are we doing? Got about an 1/8 inch to go on this side, and probably 3/16 or more on this side, so I got to keep going. Getting there. As you can see, this is a slow and tedious process, lots of cuts. just keep going. As I get closer, I have to check more often so I don't go past the line. I'm getting pretty close, so I think I'll make one more cut all the way across, and then I'll switch over to the next side. And I'm getting pretty close. A little bit more right here. That's pretty good. Now we'll go down to a finer cut. Yeah, almost there. Maybe another half dozen passes. Okay. Yeah, I gotta take a little more off the end there. I'm gonna take a look at how flat it is. Looks pretty good. Got a couple more passes on each end. I'm down to a 64th of an inch now. Okay, I'm less than a 16th of an inch. A little bit to go there. Just about on the line here. So just maybe another 2 passes on each part. Okay, this scarf is pretty much cut. I'm just going to go over it with some sandpaper now to smooth it out. Okay, 60 grit sandpaper. And I'm down to about a 32nd of an inch on the feather edge. Pretty much up on my line, just a little bit more. A little bit high right here in the middle. And I think I'm good. So, 1 scarf down, 3 to go today. So you can see what the procedure is. This is much simpler than cutting the scarves on the boat. It's easy to get a nice, smooth, regular scarf that's got a good, flat surface in every dimension. So that's, as I said, 1 down, 3 to go. I'm not going to show you the rest of them, but I'll come back at the end and show you the finished product. Well, it's about an hour later, and I have finished cutting the scarves into these 2 planks. The only thing that remains is to cut them to width and put them on the boat. I'll cut them to width when I actually put them on the boat. That way I can make measurements on the boat as I'm going. I have some written down, but I'd rather make the actual measurements on the boat and cut them to width there. I'll cut them just a little bit wide and then hand plane them until they just fit. And when I get to that point, I will install them. Now let's go take a look at the third plank for the port side. Now the third plank, as measured on the boat, is a little bit wider than the available planking stock. The widest Douglas fir I can get locally in 5/4 or 1 inch thickness is 5.5 inches. And I need a piece that varies from 5 3/4 to 6 inches. So what I do when I have that problem is I edge glue a piece of Douglas fir onto the planking stock with thickened epoxy, which is what I've done here, and that will be cured up tomorrow. And at that point I'll trim the ends and plane the scarfs into this plank as well. And these 3 planks will fill the 3 holes I cut in the port side of the boat. And this is for the upper forward gap, which is just a little bit wider than my planking stock. So edge glue that with epoxy, and tomorrow I can cut scarves. And my supervisor has shown up to make sure I'm doing things properly. Apparently this wasn't quite up to her standards, so she's headed away. Anyway, that is how I prepare the planks at home to go on the boat, how I cut the scarves into them after planing them to thickness with my thickness planer. And when I need a plank a little bit wider than available planking stock, I go ahead and just edge glue a piece of wood onto the edge of the plank. Now I have to say that I've been edge gluing planks together like this on Tortuga for about 14 years, and I have never had an edge glued joint fail. And they're not biscuited or anything like that. They're simply edge glued together with thickened West System epoxy. Okay, that wraps up today. Hope you enjoyed seeing the procedure to get planks ready to go onto the boat after I have prepared the hull to receive them. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, a like, and if you haven't, why don't you think about subscribing to my channel so that you will get a notification when my next exciting boatwork video is posted. Thanks for watching.